Here we are going to learn two of the cool features of AWS. First, we will deploy a static website on S3, and we will see how to speed up the content delivery using AWS CloudFront. Then we will connect this site to a domain name using the AWS service Route53. Next thing we are going to learn in this video is how we can automate the static website deployment using an AWS service which is named as Amplify. But before jumping onto the practical lab, we'll have some introduction to S3 and CloudFront. So what magic Amplify is going to perform for you? First of all, it will pick up the code from the Git repository. We are going to use Bitbucket in this lab section, but you could also use GitHub. It's up to you. It's then going to copy the contents from the repository to S3 bucket. Please also note it can also build the code for you written in Angular or React. But since we are going to deploy static files, we don't need to build or compile anything. It will set up the CloudFront for you after that. And finally, it is also going to set up a free SSL certificate, which is provided by AWS. Finally, we are going to link the custom domain to this deployed site, which is deployed using the AWS Amplify. Okay, so S3 is an object storage service that caters all your needs for storing, distributing, and managing all your data, delivering the contents to the users, hosting high traffic websites, or backing up databases without worrying about the data growth and the capacity management for the future. It can store any kind of files like text document, Word document, Excel, PPT, images, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, videos, or any big database archives. Remember, S3 is an object-based storage. You cannot install any software or any operating system on it. The file size, it can be from 0 bytes to 5 terabyte. It is virtually unlimited storage. You keep adding your files and it will keep growing. The files are stored in a structure called bucket. You can also call it a folder. But remember one thing, the name has to be unique globally. And finally, you pay for what you use. It charges you the storage used in the GBs on a monthly basis. And the objects that you store on S3, they consist of the following. First of all, it has a key, which is name of the object. It has a value. This value is a sequence of bytes, and it has a version ID in case you enable the versioning, and some additional metadata about the object. It is CloudFront, and CloudFront is a CDN service provided by AWS. What is a CDN? It is short form of Content Delivery Network. In simple words, it speeds up your website access using a system of distributed servers that deliver the contents to a user based on the user's geographic location. For example, your site is hosted on a server somewhere in USA, and your users, they are accessing this website across the globe. Okay, so your user will receive the contents from USA with some latency due to the reason it is distant and there is some routing involved. But using a CDN service, contents are cached on the content delivery servers. They are hosted across the globe by your service provider. When first user accesses the content, it is fetched from the origin and cached in the edge location near to the user. And the next user, when he is requesting the content from the same area, he will receive the cached content from the edge location, and there will be low latency. The contents are cached at edge location up to a TTL, and they are then refreshed from the origin. Okay, so what is CloudFront? It is a CDN service provided by AWS that speeds up the distribution of your static content such as HTML, CSS, images, or videos. It delivers your contents through their data centers or servers across the globe. They are called edge locations. Users will receive the content with low latency due to this network. What is edge location? This is the location where content will be cached. And this is separate from an AWS region or availability zone. And currently there are over, I believe, 50 edge locations across the globe. Origin It can be either an S3 bucket, an EC2 instance, or an elastic load balancer, or maybe Route 53. And what is distribution? It is a collection of edge locations. All right, everyone, we had enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty now. Let's start our practical lab. So for that, you need to sign into your AWS Management Console account. Once you're signed in, it will take you to this console. Let's type in S3 in the search box. Click on the S3 service. It will take you to the S3 dashboard. If you have already created some buckets, it will show you the list of buckets. Let's create a new bucket by clicking on the create bucket button. I'm going to name my bucket as tech.com. Make sure it's a unique name. I'll keep the region as default, which is US East 1. Although, S3 is global, it doesn't require a AWS region. Since we are going to host a public site on this S3 bucket, we'll uncheck this option, which is block all public access. I acknowledge that. Let's keep all other options as default and click on this create bucket button. All right, so your bucket is created. One more step before we make this bucket to be used for a static website. We need to create a bucket policy for the objects that will be uploaded in this bucket. So, and for that, let's click on this bucket, go to the permissions, and click on this edit bucket policy. Okay, I'm going to name this statement as public get object. Let's make this principal as star. Effect is allow. Provide the list of actions. Our action is S3 get object. That AWS understands very well. And here, let's provide the bucket ARN in the resources section. /star means all the objects inside this bucket. Okay, so the SID is the statement ID to differentiate between your statements. Effect is allow or deny. And the principal is whoever is affected with this principle, with this action. Actions is list of actions that the policy allows or deny, and resource is the list of resources to which the actions will be applied. Okay. Click on the save changes. All right. So one last thing, the settings are completed. Now we'll make it as a static website. Go down. You can see this static website hosting is disabled. Let's edit it. We are going to enable it. Let's provide it an index document name, error document name, and that's it. We are done. Now we need to upload all of our HTML static objects, JavaScript, CSS, anything we have related to our website. Since this is a sample, and I'm going to upload a single file which I already created. It is index.html. Click on upload. File is uploaded. Let's go to the properties again. It will give you the bucket website endpoint. Once you click on this, it will open the website. Okay. So our site is ready. Thank you. Next, we will create CloudFront distribution, which is a CDN service by AWS. But before setting it up, let's connect our domain to Route53 and provision SSL certificate, because later on we will require these two things. First, go to Route53. hosted zones, and create hosted zone for our domain. I've already purchased this domain from GoDaddy. After creating the hosted zone, I'll pick up the name servers provided by Route53 and set up them in GoDaddy. Go to GoDaddy, open your domain, manage DNS, let's change the name servers, enter my own name servers. Pick up the second entry. Let's pick up third entry. And the last entry. Save it. Acknowledge that. Continue. Okay, this part is done. Sometimes it takes a couple of hours and sometimes it takes up to 48 hours to propagate the name server changes across the internet. Okay, let's go back and we should go to Certificate Manager now and provision a free SSL certificate. Click on request a public certificate. Let's name our domain and with www so that it is accessible from www.maktoobtech.com as well. DNS validation, which is the recommended one, and click on request. Let's refresh it. It is pending validation. Let's open it up and we'll go for automatic record creation in Route53 for validation. Sometimes it takes a little bit time. Suppose if I click on it, I'm unable to. Let's go back again and click on the create record again. Yeah, you can see these entries and let's create them. Go back to certificates. It is still showing pending validation. Let's refresh it. No. Now let's go back and see our hosted zone if the entries are made for validation. Okay, these two entries are made. Go back again to ACM. Certificate is provisioned now. It is issued. Let's finally now create the CloudFront distribution. Go to CloudFront. We don't have any distribution right now. Let's create a new one. Choose the S3 domain name. Let's keep the name as it is. We'll keep HTTP and HTTPS both as protocols. I'm going to keep the all edge locations for best performance, but based on your user base, you can select the region accordingly. We are not using any WAF or WebACL access control list. Let's specify our domain. Similarly, www. Specify the SSL certificate that we have just provisioned, and we'll keep others as default. Create distribution. It is enabled, but it is still deploying, and sometimes it takes like a couple of minutes. Okay, distribution is deployed. It is enabled. Let's verify it. Copy the distribution name and try to access it. Oh, okay, you're facing the access denied error. Most of the times it happens like because of this default root object. Let's add it and update it. Our root object is index.html. Save the changes. And it will redeploy again. Distribution is redeployed without changes. Okay, let's re-verify. Copy the domain name and paste it in the browser. Yes, it is working. Now we have a final step actually. We need to connect our Route53 to our CloudFront distribution. Let's click on the hosted zone, create a record, click on the alias and select alias to CloudFront distribution. So our CloudFront distribution domain name is available here. You have to choose it and click on the create record. So finally all the dots are connected now. Hopefully it should work, but it's most of the time it will take some time to propagate. Let's see. No, it is showing the old website. That means it is not propagated yet. Let's wait for it. All right, name servers are propagated now. Let's verify. Okay, it's working. So everything is done. So far what we have covered is we have deployed a static website on S3. We set up CloudFront distribution to speed up the website content, and we connected our domain using Route53 and connected to CloudFront, and we also provisioned a SSL certificate, and we did everything manually. Okay, next we are going to see how we can automate everything, all of these manual steps using AWS Amplify. I've removed everything that we created manually previously, except the hosted zone in Route53 because it is connected to our domain from GoDaddy. Let me show you the entries. All the validation entries as well as the A record is removed. Also, I have removed S3 bucket. Which was hosting our static content. It is removed. I have removed CloudFront as well as the SSL certificate. Okay. Now let's start our magic. And by the way, in parallel, I have also uploaded my website code to Bitbucket. As you can see it here. I can show you locally. So this is the website we are going to set up using AWS Amplify. Let's go to Amplify. Get started. We are going to use Amplify hosting. Get started. Select Bitbucket. Since previously I had connected my Bitbucket to Amplify, so that's why it is already authenticated and connected. It is going to show me the list of repositories I have in Bitbucket. I'll select this one. Okay, master branch. Click next. Here we can specify the build steps I told you earlier. we are going to host only a static content, so that's why we don't need any build steps. Click this checkbox because it will first of all automatically deploy the application, but later on, suppose if you have any changes in your Bitbucket repository in your source code, it will pick up those changes automatically and redeploy it. Next, save and deploy, and that's it. So it will start the magic. Hold on for a few seconds, hopefully, yeah. So it will pick up the code, it will build it, deploy it, verify, and the only thing that we have to do is we have to connect the domain from Route53 to this newly created website. So it's going to take a couple of minutes. I'm going to pause the video till that time. So custom domain connectivity is completed. Let us verify. Copy this address. Go to the browser. You can see this is the old one. Yes. Now you have fully functional website hosted on your own domain using AWS Amplify. So you see, using AWS Amplify, we have avoided manual steps and we have saved a lot of time. All right, thank you everyone. Hope you have enjoyed this video, and you will enjoy when you set up your own domain. Thank you everyone. I hope you liked this video, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy when you deploy your next static website using AWS Amplify following these steps.